I listed in the handwriting video all the pieces to language arts, and it's a lot. So I like to just pick a couple and work on those. Because handwriting and spelling are the most mechanical, I just usually do one or the other. There are plenty of people who do both, but it's just more than I can really bear to get through in a day. So I look at my kids' writing, just like the things that they do when they're writing me little notes and stuff, and I try to decide which do they need to work on more, handwriting or spelling. So sometimes we just do handwriting for a few months until that's strong, and then we switch to spelling. If their writing gets messy over days, I'll just warn them, hey, you need to shape up, otherwise we're going to have to start practicing handwriting again, and that usually does the trick. This was actually the very first year that both of my kids did spelling the whole year. So there are a lot of popular spelling programs. There's SpellUC, All About Spelling, Logic of English, Spellwell, Spelling Power, and there's a lot more. If you want to go this route, I'd look at them online. There's a YouTuber, her website is Homeschool On, has a lot of reviews. Some people are natural spellers, and the rest of us are not. Most of us learn the right spelling by just seeing the word over and over again. I was a terrible speller as a kid, but I read so much that now I'm a great speller. So I've just decided it's not really worth the battle with my kids. But here's what we have used. I've tried out a lot of things with my son and I just gave up. And this was the first year that he used a spelling program, and we used Megawords. It's more for older elementary kids, but I didn't do any tests. I just had him work through the pages independently. And it's cool because it teaches you how to break words into chunks. So it gives you a spelling list. And then all the actual worksheets. And I think there's usually, I don't know, around 10 of them or something. And then he just went on to the next one. So for my daughter, I had found these really cool spelling pages on Pinterest one day. The original website was really hard to track down, so I'll drop that down in the notes. They looked like these, but they were kind of advanced for her, so I decided to use that same pattern to make my own. So for her, it was like the difference between C and K. So C uses, it comes before A, O, and U, and K comes before I, E, and Y. And so it has this nice little graphic that just helps you remember it, and then some practice down at the bottom. And then I just found some other worksheets that she could practice C or K, C or K. And those actually kind of took me a little bit of time in order to get ready for her. So if you're wanting to look at those, I will drop my email address down in the notes, and you can email me and I'll send you some of those. And if you want them, I'll just send them all to you. I don't own those worksheets, so I just pull them off the internet, because that's the nice thing about homeschooling is you can just use the things without having to worry about the legal copyrights so much. So whatever you use, you want to make sure that you're teaching spelling patterns. So when we were kids, they were called spelling rules, but now they say patterns because there's actually so many exceptions to the rule. For instance, the I before E except after C. Yeah, there's actually more exceptions to that rule than words that follow the rule. So that's why they say patterns. So whatever pattern, you pick like one a week, and you want to make sure to point out the words that break the patterns, but you don't have to put a big focus on them. Some people like to make like a word jail and they put the letters in there that don't follow the pattern. There are a ton of ways to practice spelling besides just traditional worksheets and writing words. You could use letter magnets or stamps or stickers to make the words. I once set up kind of an obstacle course, kind of like Big Brother, where they had to walk across a wooden plank and then dig through a bowl of mud to find Scrabble pieces and then walk back. And that was a lot of fun, but it was kind of a lot of time to set up. You could look on Pinterest. There are going to be a ton of ideas. If you just type in spelling practice, you'll have a lot of hits. You could also have them spell it in the air, kind of like when you were a kid and you had a sparkler. I've always wanted to have sparklers to try spelling, but I've just never gotten around to doing that. You could write letters on tape and then put them on a bunch of Legos and have them build the Legos into the word. Or you could just spice up the regular writing by giving them gel pens or markers. Rainbow writing is really popular at public schools now, so it's like where you write it in red and then in orange right on top of it, yellow, green, go through the whole rainbow. It looks really neat when you're done. So there you have it. Spelling is not a big deal.